80 years. That is a hell of a long time to be wrong about nearly everything that matters. I look at the young man I used to be, so certain, so hungry, so desperate to prove them all right. They told me life was a ladder, and if I just kept climbing eventually, I would reach the clouds where the happiness was kept. It was a lie, the biggest con job in human history. It took me 52 years to wake up, 52 years of sleepwalking through my own existence. I was there physically at the birthdays, the anniversaries. But my mind? It was always somewhere else. It was always at the office, always closing the next deal, always chasing the bigger desk, the corner office with the view. We are sold a script before we can even read. Get good grades, get the job, sacrifice your today for a tomorrow that might never come. And I bought it. I thought if I was not exhausting myself, I was not trying hard enough. I wore my stress like a badge of honor. Decades flew by in a blur of airports, sterile hotel rooms, and shallow handshakes with people whose names I have forgotten. Look at my eyes in this one. The smile is glued on for the camera, but the eyes, they are screaming for rest. They tell you to build a legacy of wealth, but they do not tell you the cost of the bricks is your actual life. Around my 50th birthday, I hit the so-called peak. I had everything the checklist said I should want, and I had never felt more hollow. It was a terrifying, echoing silence inside my own chest. The stuff, it owns you. You do not own it. You become a caretaker for things that cannot love you back. I realized I was trading the only non-renewable resource I had, my time on this earth, for things that would eventually end up in a landfill. You think you have forever. That is the great illusion of youth. You think death is something that happens to other people. I spent my 20s building a foundation, my 30s building the walls, my 40s putting on the roof. By the time I stepped inside the house I built, I realized I had forgotten to put in any windows. I was trapped in the dark of my own ambition. We chase what looks good instead of what feels true. And the difference between those two things is the difference between a life lived and a life wasted. I was a very successful man by society's standards, and I was a complete failure at being a human being. But knowing you are asleep is not the same as waking up. Waking up, that requires a shock to the system. For me, the shock came on a Tuesday in November, the day the script finally ran out. It started like any other day. The coffee, the commute, the quarterly earnings report. I was signing the biggest contract of my career. The pen felt heavy. And then, suddenly, my own arm felt heavier. The boardroom ceiling started spinning. The expensive suits around me blurred into gray blobs. The silence was deafening before the chaos started. I woke up under fluorescent lights that hummed like angry insects. Tubes, wires, the sterile smell of survival. The doctor said I was lucky. 52 years old and my heart had just staged a violent protest against the life I was leading. Lying there, staring at that white ceiling for 3 days, you do a lot of accounting. Not financial, moral. My assistant sent flowers. My business partners sent a fruit basket. My competitors probably sent champagne to toast my demise. But the chair next to my bed, the one where a wife or a grown child should have been sitting holding my hand, it was empty. That emptiness, it was heavier than the chest pain. That was the moment the lie finally crumbled. I had won the rat race, but I was dying alone. I learned this lesson the hard way in a cardiac ward, so you do not have to. If you value these honest stories, please support the channel and subscribe. Let us keep learning together. When I walked out of those hospital doors, the air tasted different. It tasted precious. I was 52, and for the first time, I was actually alive. I looked at my Rolex. It used to mean status. Now it just looked like a very expensive handcuff. It took a near-death experience to break the trance. Do not wait for your heart to stop to realize you have not started living. I spent the next 28 years trying to undo the damage of the first 50. If you want to avoid my regrets, Here are 3 rules I live by now. Rule number 1. Conduct the deathbed audit every single week. When you are taking your final breaths, will you care about that email dispute? Will you care about the scratch on your car? No. You will care about who you loved and who loved you. Filter every decision through that lens. If it will not matter in the last hour of your life, do not give it an hour of your life today. Rule number 2, stop trading presents for productivity. We are so busy documenting our lives that we forget to experience them. Put the damn phone down. Look people in the eye. Listen to understand, not just to reply. The greatest gift you can give someone is not your money, it is your undivided attention. I missed a lifetime of small moments because I was mentally redesigning a spreadsheet. Do not be a ghost in your own home. And rule number 3, define enough. The society script says more money, more house, more fame. More is a horizon you can never reach. It is a treadmill set to maximum speed. Find your enough and step off the machine. Enough is a warm bed. Enough is good food with good people. Enough is peace of mind. Once you have that, everything else is just noise. 52 years to learn how to live. Do not take as long as I did. Waking up is painful, but sleeping through your life, that is a tragedy. But rules are useless if you are too weighed down to follow them. This brings me to the 4th lesson. Drop the heavy stones. For 30 years, I refused to speak to my brother over a loan he never paid back. $3,000. That was the price of our brotherhood. I carried that anger every day. It was a hot coal I held in my hand, waiting to throw it at him. But I was the only one getting burned. When he died, I went to his funeral. I stood over his grave with that $3,000 grudge still in my pocket. And I realized I had nowhere to put it. The money did not matter. The pride did not matter. All that mattered was the silence where his laugh used to be. Many of you are carrying stones right now. Grudges against parents, anger at ex-lovers, jealousy of friends. You think this anger protects you. It does not. It is an anchor, and you cannot sail to new shores while you are anchored to the past. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. Forgiveness is saying, I am done carrying this suitcase. Call them. If you cannot call them, write the letter and burn it. But let it go. Your heart needs that room for love, not war. Do not get to my age and realize you spent half your life guarding a fortress that no one was attacking anymore. There is one final enemy you must defeat. It is a word, a silent killer. That word is someday. I see so many of you treating happiness like a pension plan. You think you can deposit joy into a bank account and withdraw it with interest when you are 65. It does not work that way. Joy is a perishable good. If you do not consume it today, it rots. It does not keep. I had a friend, Arthur. He worked in the cubicle next to mine for 30 years. He had a picture of a sailboat on his wall. Just 5 more years, he would say. Then I buy the boat. Then I sail the Mediterranean. He ate tuna from a can every day to save for that boat. Arthur retired on a Friday. We had cake. He was beaming. He finally had the time and the money. On Sunday, Arthur had a massive stroke. He never saw the ocean. He died in a room with no windows. He deferred his life for a future that was not guaranteed. Do not make Arthur's mistake. Do not mortgage your present for a fantasy future. If you want to write the book, write a page tonight. If you want to travel, drive to the next town this weekend. Do not wait. Your knees will not always work. Your eyes will not always see clearly. The energy you have now is a gift that is slowly leaking away. You are not a machine designed to work until you break. You are a biological miracle designed to experience the universe. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the fear of living today. Be brave enough to be happy now, even if it is imperfect. There is one final enemy you must defeat. It is a word, a silent killer. That word is someday. I see so many of you treating happiness like a pension plan. You think you can deposit joy into a bank account and withdraw it with interest when you are 65. It does not work that way. Joy is a perishable good. If you do not consume it today, it rots. It does not keep. I had a friend, Arthur. He worked in the cubicle next to mine for 30 years. He had a picture of a sailboat on his wall. Just 5 more years, he would say. Then I buy the boat. Then I sail the Mediterranean. He ate tuna from a can every day to save for that boat. Arthur retired on a Friday. We had cake. He was beaming. He finally had the time and the money. On Sunday, Arthur had a massive stroke. He never saw the ocean. He died in a room with no windows. He deferred his life for a future that was not guaranteed. Do not make Arthur's mistake. Do not mortgage your present for a fantasy future. If you want to write the book, write a page tonight. If you want to travel, drive to the next town this weekend. Do not wait. Your knees will not always work. Your eyes will not always see clearly. The energy you have now is a gift that is slowly leaking away. You are not a machine designed to work until you break. You are a biological miracle designed to experience the universe. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the fear of living today. Be brave enough to be happy now, even if it is imperfect. So here I sit, 80 years old. The house is quiet now. The accolades are in a box in the attic. But I am richer now than I ever was as a CEO, because I own my mornings, I own my breath, I own the silence. I cannot give you back the years you have already wasted. Those are gone, burned. But I can give you the warning that saves the rest of them. The calendar is not your friend. It is a countdown. Take it from a man who learned too late. Go home. Hug your family. Quit the job if it is killing your soul. Buy the boat or build it. Just do not wait. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is the show, and the curtain comes down sooner than you think. My time is short, but my stories are many. Subscribe to walk this path with me a little longer. Until next time.